Hello, dear learners, and welcome back to English Flow. I'm Kim, and I'm really glad you're here. Let me paint you a picture. You walk into a grocery store in an English-speaking country. You know exactly what you want: milk, bread, maybe some fruit. But the moment an employee asks you a question, your mind goes blank. You don't know the name for half the things around you. You don't catch what the cashier just said, and you end up smiling and nodding, hoping it works out. If that sounds familiar, today's episode is going to fix it, piece by piece, section by section. And I'll tell you now, so you have a reason to stay until the end. The most useful part of this whole lesson, 4 real conversations you can basically copy word for word, is waiting for you at the very end. So stay with me. Quick and simple before we start. If this podcast is helping you, subscribing and leaving a comment means a lot, and it helps more learners find the show. That's really all I'll ask. Now, let's go shopping. First, a small but important detail. In everyday English, most people don't actually say supermarket. They say grocery store, or simply the store. So you'll hear things like, I'm going grocery shopping, or I need to run to the grocery store. And before people even leave the house, many of them make a grocery list. Just a written list of everything they need, so nothing gets forgotten once they're inside. When you walk in, you'll grab something to carry your items in. If you're buying a lot, you'll take a shopping cart, also called a grocery cart, or in British English, a trolley. That's the big wheeled container you push around and fill up. If you're only buying a few things, you'll take a basket instead, which is smaller and carried by hand. And casually, some people even call a cart a buggy. So, for example, if a friend says to you, grab a cart, we've got a lot to buy, now you know exactly what they mean. And you won't be standing there confused, holding a tiny basket for 20 items. Now let's walk through the store the way it's usually laid out, one section at a time, because knowing the order actually helps you remember the words. Right at the entrance, you'll typically find the produce section. That's fruits and vegetables. Here, you'll usually have a choice between organic and conventional. Organic means the food was grown without artificial chemicals or pesticides, and it's usually a little more expensive. Conventional simply means it was grown the regular way. Nothing special about that word. It's just the normal option. You'll also notice that some produce is loose, meaning single pieces you choose yourself, and some comes bagged, already packaged together. For example, you might hear an announcement like, loose lemons are on sale, 3 for $1, which simply means the lemons aren't in a bag. You pick them out one by one. Next, you'll usually reach the deli section. Deli is short for delicatessen, and this is where you'll find sliced meats, ham, turkey, chicken, often called deli meat. If you order fresh from the counter, the person helping you might ask how you want it cut. For example, they might say, how do you want that cut? And if it's for sandwiches, you simply answer, sandwich cut, please. That's it. 2 short lines, and you've ordered exactly what you needed. After the deli comes the bakery section, full of fresh bread, rolls, donuts, and cakes. Usually baked right there in the store, which is why it always smells wonderful. Then there's the dairy section. Milk, yogurt, butter, cheese, and eggs. Keep walking and you'll reach the frozen food section, where ice cream, frozen pizza, and frozen vegetables are kept behind glass doors to stay cold. You'll also pass the seafood section, the beverage section, a canned food aisle, and a cereal aisle. Larger stores also have a bulk section, where things like rice or nuts are sold loosely, by weight, instead of in a fixed package, so you scoop out exactly the amount you want. Now, here's something genuinely useful: how to actually find things when you're lost in a store you don't know. If you can't locate an item, You simply ask an employee. For example, you could say, "Excuse me, where can I find the eggs?" Or, "Which aisle is the pasta in?" And they'll usually point you in the right direction with something like, "It's on aisle 4." As you search, you'll go down an aisle, meaning you walk along one row of shelves, and you might walk past a case, which just means passing one of those large glass refrigerated sections like the meat case or the dairy case. There's also a fun bit of vocabulary worth knowing. The special shelves at the end of each aisle, usually used for sale items, are called end caps. So if you ever hear, "The ice cream is on the end cap this week," that simply means it's on that special display, not in its usual spot in the frozen aisle. A quick note on pricing, because these two phrases confuse a lot of learners. On sale means the price is temporarily lower than normal. For sale simply means the item is available to buy. Every single thing in the store is for sale, but only some things are actually on sale. You'll also come across labels like locally made, meaning the product was made nearby instead of shipped from far away. And every packaged item has an expiration date, the date after which it's no longer safe or fresh to eat. Always worth a quick glance before it goes in your cart. Now let's talk about paying, since this is usually the part learners feel least confident about. Once you're done shopping, you head to the checkout counter, or you use self-checkout, where you scan and bag your own items instead of a cashier doing it. At a regular checkout, the cashier scans your items one by one, and you'll often hear a few very typical questions. For example, they might ask, "Are you finding everything okay?" Paper or plastic, meaning which type of bag you'd like. Do you have our rewards card, meaning a loyalty card that gives discounts? And finally, cash or card. You might also hear something like, "That's buy one, get one free," which means if you buy one item, you get a second one at no extra cost. On your side, a few short, natural lines go a long way. For example, you can simply say, "I'd like a bag, please." Or, "Could you double bag that?" if something is heavy and you want extra protection. At the end, you'll receive a receipt, a printed record of everything you bought and what it cost. Before we move to the best part, let me clear up a few mistakes I hear constantly from learners so you can avoid them completely. Don't say, "Where is breads?" The correct way is, "Where's the bread?" Don't say, "Give me a bag," which can sound a bit rude. Instead say, "Could I have a bag, please?" And instead of "I want pay card," say, "I'd like to pay by card." Here are a few natural expressions native speakers use all the time around grocery shopping, and understanding these will make you sound far more comfortable in the store. If an employee offers help and you don't need it yet, you simply say, "I'm just looking." If you're buying a lot of something because it's cheap or you'll need it soon, that's "I'm stocking up." If a store has completely run out of an item, that's "It's out of stock." And once new stock arrives, you'll hear, "They just restocked it." A great price is simply a good deal, while something priced too high is overpriced. And two very common everyday lines you'll hear constantly: "I forgot to pick up milk," and "I'm running low on eggs," meaning you're almost out and need more soon. All right, here's what I promised you at the beginning, the part that ties everything together. Let's walk through 4 real, complete conversations so you can hear exactly how all of this sounds put together in an actual store. First, finding an item. "Excuse me, do you know where I could find the pasta?" "Sure, it's on aisle 6, right past the canned food." "Great, thank you. And is the pasta sauce in the same aisle?" "Yes, it should be right next to it, on the same shelf." Second, asking an employee for help. "Excuse me, I'm looking for oven-roasted turkey, but I can't find it. That would be in the deli section, right at the back of the store." "Perfect, and could I get that sliced thin for sandwiches?" "Of course, Sandwich cut coming right up. Anything else? Actually, yes. Is the hummus organic or conventional? We carry both. They're right next to each other in the dairy case. Third, checking out. Hi there, are you finding everything okay? Yes, thank you. I got everything on my list. Great. Paper or plastic? Paper, please. And could you double bag the eggs? No problem. Cash or card today? Card, please. Oh, and do you have a rewards card I could use? I can look one up with your phone number if you'd like. That would be great. Thank you. All right, that's buy one, get one free on the cereal, by the way, so I added a second box. Oh, nice. Thank you for catching that. That's all for me. And finally, a self-checkout problem. Excuse me, I'm having trouble. The machine won't scan this item. No worries, let me take a look. Sometimes the barcode gets damaged. That would explain it. It's a bit scratched. I'll just enter the code manually for you. There you go, all set. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Notice how short and natural every line is. Nobody uses long, complicated sentences at a grocery store. Just clear, simple, polite English. Exactly what we practiced today. For your homework, before your next real or imagined grocery trip, look around your kitchen and pick 5 items. Say their English names out loud. Then practice the question and answer we learned. Where can I find the? It's on aisle. Even doing this alone out loud genuinely builds real speaking confidence. That's it for today. If this episode helped you, subscribing and dropping a comment truly helps this podcast grow. I'm Kim. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care of yourself and keep flowing.